I'm Deputy Jaq Justice, and today we're going to talk about California laws of arrest. California Penal Code Section 836 A authorizes a police officer to make an arrest under the following provisions. A peace officer may arrest a person in obedience to a warrant, or pursuant to the authority granted by Chapter 4.5, commencing with Section 830 of Title 3 of Part 2, without a warrant, may arrest a person whenever any of the following circumstances occur. 1. The officer has probable cause to believe that the person to be arrested has committed a public offense in the officer's presence. 2. The person arrested has committed a felony, although not in the officer's presence. 3. The officer has probable cause to believe that the person to be arrested has committed a felony, whether or not a felony, in fact, has been committed. So let's break that all down. A police officer can make an arrest in obedience to an arrest warrant. There are several ways this can occur. For example, a crook commits a burglary, PC 459, which is investigated by a detective who identifies a suspect by the evidence including a ring camera video, fingerprints left at the scene, and testimony from a snitch that the crook tried to sell the stolen goods on Fentanyl Hill. The detective submits her investigative report to the district attorney, who files the appropriate charges. A judge will review documents and issue a warrant for the crook's arrest. This process also applies to warrants issued from the bench, meaning they were issued during a court proceeding. Typically, this is for a defendant failing to appear in court for proceedings including misdemeanor arrest citations, for example, shoplifting or traffic citations. The next provision allowing an arrest is if the officer has probable cause to believe that the person to be arrested has committed a public offense in the officer's presence. You must either observe the violation or have probable cause to believe it occurred in your presence. As you learned earlier in this class, probable cause exists when there is a reasonable belief based on articulable facts that a crime has been committed. More than suspicion, but less than beyond a reasonable doubt. For example, the officer observes a vehicle driving at night with no headlights on. The vehicle is weaving in the lane and rolls through a stop sign. The officer makes a traffic stop and notices signs and symptoms of alcohol intoxication. The officer administers a field sobriety test and the driver's performance indicates they are impaired. The officer has probable cause, sometimes abbreviated as PC, for arrest for VC 23152, a driving under the influence. Reminder that under this circumstance, the offense must occur in the officer's presence, they observed it, or PC to believe it occurred in their presence. An example of that might be where you hear a car engine rev, hear tires squealing with the engine continuing to rev, see a car come around a corner with tire smoke billowing out from the wheel wells and the passengers cheering. You would have PC for arrest for exhibition of speed in your presence, although you did not actually see the violation. There are some other exceptions for in your presence, including domestic violence crimes and driving under the influence with a traffic collision, which are explained in later lessons. So what happens if the offense does not occur in the officer's presence? Penal Code Section 836 allows for an arrest when 2. The person arrested has committed a felony, although not in the officer's presence. 3. The officer has probable cause to believe that the person to be arrested has committed a felony, whether or not a felony, in fact, has been committed. This essentially means an officer can arrest someone if they have enough evidence to reasonably believe a felony has been committed, even if it's later determined that a felony wasn't actually committed. For example, an officer hears a broadcast that a person wearing ski mask, all black clothing, and a backpack on their back just robbed a store and is fleeing on foot eastbound on Redondo Beach Boulevard. The officer sees a suspect fitting that pretty distinct description run past him on RBB. The officer has probable cause to believe a felony, PC 211, has occurred and can make an arrest. The more facts you have, the better. So that is a synopsis of when a police officer can make an arrest in California. I'm Deputy Jaq Justice, and as always, thanks for listening.